You are listening to Chi Conversations, a podcast about anything and everything that matters to Chi Omegas.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our podcast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Leslie Harrington, CEO for Chi Omega, and we are joined today by Missy Pask, our current SKA, or National Secretary, and an initiate of the Sigma Alpha chapter at Miami University of Ohio. This year marks Missy's 8th year on the Supreme Governing Council of Chi Omega. She joined the council in 2014, serving as SM, and was reelected to that position in 2016 and 2018. But long before the Governing Council, Missy traveled as a national leadership consultant right after graduation for 2 years, 1988 to 1990. She served as a Firesides leader twice, once in 1993 and again in 2007, and was Chi Omega's convention director for 6 years. Professionally, Missy owns MGP Interiors and Design. She is married to John Pask, and they have 2 Chi Omega daughters, Mackenzie, an initiate of Zeta Kappa chapter at Texas A&M, and Morgan, an initiate of Epsilon Alpha chapter at the University of Oklahoma. Missy resides currently in Dallas, Texas. And Missy, we are so honored to have you with us today. Thank you for making the time to come by.
Of course, Leslie. I was honored to be asked to join, and I'm just excited to talk about something I love a lot, which is Chi Omega.
That's right. We love us. We always do. And I think in an effort for our sisters and our friends to get to know our governing council better, we really want to dive into some questions that reveal more about the real you. So what better place to start than your Chi Omega experience? Tell me, why on earth did you even join Chi Omega in the first place?
Of course. So when I decided to join, when I decided to attend Miami University in Ohio, not Florida, I knew that I wanted to join a sorority. Greek life was a big part of the student experience at Miami, and I knew that I wanted to be a part of that. However, I didn't know a whole lot about sororities, since I am the first Greek in my family to join a fraternal organization. So if y'all can remember, I'm dating myself, the Preppy Handbook. I read the Preppy Handbook, and I learned a little bit about sororities, and I knew that I wanted to join. So once recruitment started, every time that I went to a Chi Omega party, it just felt right to me. You know, the conversations that I was having with the women in Sigma Alpha were authentic. They were real, they were fun, and those women made me feel like they really wanted to get to know me, and it made me want to be a part of their sisterhood.
Well, I bet. It sounds like Chi Omega felt like home to you, and it was super comfy, you being there with all those women. Now, what would you say was your most favorite memory from your time at Sigma Alpha chapter?
Oh, gosh. Well, I've had a lot of great memories during my time in the chapter, but, you know, sometimes it's the little things, attending Greek Week events with my sisters and cheering them on. Also, we had a suite where we gathered and had our chapter meetings. And I lived in the dorm where our suite was located for several years. And I would often find myself just hanging out inside the suite, popping a big bowl of air popcorn and just visiting with my sisters that came and went as I hung out in the Chi Omega suite.
Well, it sounds like a revolving door, and maybe they got a little bit of popcorn. I don't know. But I do know that you went to work for Chi Omega directly after graduation. What made you want to be a professional Chi-O?
Sure. So I was slated to be GM the spring of my sophomore year. And during that spring, I had the opportunity to meet with the chapter visitor who came and visited Sigma Alpha. Her name is Melinda Mount Pierce. And I think some of us know her. And I took everything to heart, what she told me. And she really encouraged me to look at the position of GM and think about how I could make it better and make a better new member experience for the women that would join in the fall. So in true Missy form, I went home that summer and I read that notebook. At the time we had notebooks, and
sure, they were this thick.
Yeah. And just read every single detail in that notebook. And she also planted the seed in me about traveling for Chi Omega. And I thought, now that would be a really fun job. And I thought about it and thought about it a little more. And being able to attend convention that summer with our chapter GH, I was just blown away at the impact of how large our sisterhood is. And, I think so many of us see Chi Omega just at the local level, but being there with all these sisters from across the country, thought there's nothing better than being a Chi Omega. So I decided to apply, and I can remember how I felt when I got that call from former SH Kirk Bell Cook asking me to be a chapter visitor.
What'd she say exactly? Do you remember?
Oh my gosh. Well, I remember I was in my parents' bedroom and of course, landlines, and picked up the phone, and she had just a gracious Southern accent and just said, well, Melissa, because that's my given name, we'd like you to be a chapter visitor for Chi Omega. And I think I was like, the words couldn't even come out of my mouth, but I was thrilled, of course, and just one of the best decisions that I've ever made.
Thank you, Missy, for saying yes again to Chi Omega. Now tell our listeners, what is it like to serve on the governing council? What's a day in the life like?
Well, I'll tell you this, every single day is a little bit different, but first of all, it's really an incredible honor to wear the badge of the SKA, that I am worthy enough to serve the fraternity in this role. Like so many of our Chi Omega mentors that have come before me, sometimes I just feel like I need to pinch myself. I certainly would have never imagined that back in 1984, I would be a member of the governing council. I can remember memorizing those names and titles in my pledge manual. But it's challenging. It's fun. It's inspiring, but it's also really hard. There's a lot of responsibility placed on each and every one of us, but I wouldn't want it any other way.
What do you think Chi Omega members would be most surprised to learn about the governing council, or what happens around that council table?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I guess first and foremost that, we're real people. We all come from different Chi Omega experiences, different Chi Omega chapters, but the bond that we share is truly like none other. You're immediately thrown into this group of 4 other women, and you begin to work together to solve challenges that are put before you. And we just learn to develop that immediate loyalty, trust in one another. And I think it's because we all just care so much about the future of Chi Omega. But we make those hard decisions together. I mean, that, Leslie, you're sitting there with us.
Oh, yeah. And
I think it makes our bond really strong. Now, we do have a lot of fun. We laugh a lot. We do cry. In fact, I'm probably the crier. And, I didn't know this, but my first council meeting, we all have specific spots that we sit at the governing council table. So that's kind of different, and little carts with all of our stuff to help us do our job, and lots of yummy goodies and snacks. And we all tend to have our favorites, from Mountain Dew to candy to having caramel cake for breakfast.
Well, food is the 7th purpose. We all know that. And I can validate what you're saying. You guys have very difficult challenges ahead of you. You care passionately about our members. You have very healthy debates. You do not always agree, and that's the most fun to watch, but it's always polite, professional, and sisterly. So a lot of good work done at that table. No doubt about it. Now, I happen to have the inside scoop, and I know that the governing council has a nickname for you. And I want you to tell our podcasters what that nickname is and why you think it's stuck for so long.
Oh, gosh. Okay. This is kind of funny. So I think, like I said earlier, when I was asked to be a chapter visitor, my given name is Melissa. And in fact, when I started traveling for Chi Omega, I thought, well, I need to be more grown up and professional, because Missy sounds just too young and fun. So I'm going to be called by Melissa. Well, that didn't go too well, because it seemed like I was always, turning my head like, are they talking to me? So I think it was one of my early council meetings. And like I said, we all have our spots at the table, and we were having a robust discussion, and I was the newbie in the group. And our STB, Anna Buckner at the time, she turned to me And in her best South Georgia accent that we all know and love, she said, "Baby girl." And then she just went on to make her point. Well, we all just started laughing, and baby girl just stuck. And so I was asking her about this recently, and we were kind of doing a little research on baby girl. And a baby girl apparently is a girl who's always there for you when nobody else is, and someone who sticks by your side. She's friendly, caring, she's a solid friend. And aren't that what all Chi Mega sisters are? So I took that as a pretty big compliment. But now, as you know, I'm always referred to baby girl, or BG for short.
Well, Missy, you are no longer a baby girl at that council table. You are a senior at that council table, and we are so grateful for all your years of service, and you bring so much to the decision-making and the conversation. So thank you. It's a great dialogue. And you have actually seen Chi Omega evolve immensely since your time as an NLC. So tell us what you think, or why you think Chi Omega is still relevant to college women today.
Yeah, thanks, Leslie. So obviously, I think, one of our building blocks of our organization is friendship. And, honestly, that's why I originally joined Chi Mega. I wanted to be with a group of friends who would support me and build me up. And, from the early days of our founding, that's what our founders did. They came together for friendship and to create a safe space for women to be together. Young women need opportunities for leadership development. They need a safe space to try new things, where they can take chances and know that if they make a mistake, it's okay. So Chi Mega teaches resiliency. And our sisterhood is full of mentors, many of them who I've been privileged to learn from. The advisors that work so closely with the women in our chapters, they serve as role models for our young collegians. And they truly teach women to be the best version of themselves. So how can Chi Omega not be relevant today? We've come a long way since 1895, but being able to change and evolve through the years is truly what makes us such a strong and respected organization that it is today.
That's right. And here's to the next 127. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
What has it been like having two Chi Omega daughters, and how did Chi Omega prepare you for parenthood, if at all?
Oh, gosh. Well, it's been a lot of fun. I feel very fortunate that both of my girls chose Chi Omega, and it's been great being able to share something that I love so much with each of them. I was able to be at both of their bid days, and I can still remember how I felt when I saw them running for the Chi Omega house, tears of happiness and tears of joy. I have these pictures of me and each of them on my refrigerator from their bid days. And I often, look at those, and just lots of great memories come back to me. But, what I told them is that they need to each create their own unique Chi Omega experience. And they did that. And I'm grateful for that, because every sister needs to make her own path, and their path was going to look different than mine. And that's okay. Chi Omega prepared me for a lot of life lessons, which I've tried to impart on my girls, practical things like, you better dress up when you travel on an airplane, because no doubt you will be treated better. Never separate the salt and pepper when you're passing them at a table. We had etiquette lessons back in the day when I was a chapter visitor and learned that. Always send a handwritten. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's kind of a family joke. Always send a handwritten thank you note, and you never know when someone's watching you. So you only have the one time to make a first impression. So you need to be kind and respectful to other individuals that you interact with.
Well, I know you to be an avid runner. I assume this is a stress reliever for you. What role does fitness play in your life?
Yeah, well, I do like to run. I mean, that, Leslie. We've been known to take a few jogs here and there on some of the trips that we've had together.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So running it kind of sets me for the day. Those of us who exercise, we get those endorphins, running through our system that makes us feel good. And, on the plus side, I've been able to see some pretty beautiful sunrises in Memphis when I have been at Chi Omega Executive Headquarters for trainings or meetings. And I go out early in the morning to take my early jog.
That's right. It's also significant, sisters, to see the sunrise, right? Here we go.
It is. Yes, it is. That cardinal and straw.
Cardinal and straw. Missy, where would you see yourself today if you didn't join Chi Omega? How would your life be different? In what way?
Well, first of all, I don't even think I can imagine my life without Chi Omega. I've always been involved with Chi Omega, volunteering for Chi Omega since the day that I pledged. It's just part of my DNA and who I am. And my girls kind of laugh at me when I share my story, but I truly believe that my membership in Chi Omega has made me who I am. I was really shy when I went away to school, and I was 10 hours away from home. And my Chi Omega sisters gave me the confidence that I needed and made me feel like I could do anything that I put my mind to. They encouraged me to take chances, and just the sheer fact that they thought highly enough of me to slate me as GM of my chapter, I was blown away from that. So, Chi Omega has given me my very best friends all over the country. My husband and I have moved a lot throughout our marriage, and it's always the Chi Omega friends that make me love living in all those different communities.
I am so glad that those Sigma Alphas gave you the confidence boost to be on the board of the largest women's fraternal organization in the world. So kudos to them. And I know that you probably have your own fun fact or a good story or a piece of advice you want to share with all of Chi Omega today. What would that be?
Yeah, well, I have lots of stories, but we don't have time to go through all those. So I guess best fun piece of advice: always pack your clothes in plastic, because you never know when your bag might sit out in the rain, and that plastic keeps your clothes dry 100% of the time. So from a practical side, that's my little tip. Bigger perspective, each and every one of us has a unique Chi Omega experience, and that's what makes our sisterhood so unique and special. And we all fall in love with Chi Omega at our individual chapters, but how we decide to stay connected is up to each and every one of us. And I guess I would just tell our sisters out there, be open to new opportunities. Don't be afraid to take chances. I've never said no to any Chi Omega opportunity. They have blessed me in more ways than I can ever give back to the fraternity. And your membership will enrich your life in ways that you didn't even think that it could. So Chi Omega really has made me who I am today.
I believe that to be true. And you have never said no to Chi Omega. You almost said no to doing this podcast, but man, am I sure glad that you said yes again. We got you again. You know that I always love sharing time with you, and today is no different. So thank you for getting personal with our members and sharing your Chi Omega story.
Of course. It was easier than I thought it would be, Leslie. And thanks to you, you're a pro 100%. So I guess now I can just take breathe a big sigh of relief and just say, I did it.
Yep. Pretty painless. All right. Thanks everyone for listening today, and stay tuned for more Chi O conversations coming your way. Also, if you have any podcast ideas or notable guests that you'd like to hear from in our next broadcast, please let us know. All you have to do is email chiomega@chiomega.com. And as always, keep an eye on our social media channels so that you can be sure to join us next time. Thank you.